Did you tell that story recently?
We have to hear it.
All right. So Gavin was actually coming over. I hear a knock at the door. I'm like, that's Gavin. He should be here. So I see some dude standing there that I don't know, right? And I'm like, all right. So I open the door. And he's like, oh, hey, I live in this apartment, like, down the hall or whatever. I'm like, okay. And he's, like, freaking out. He's, like, shaking his hands and shit. He's like, oh, there's somebody in my apartment. There's, like, guys in my apartment. And I'm like, what? Wait, what the hell's going on? And he's like, oh, can you call the police? There's people in my apartment, and they have gasoline. And I'm like, hang on. So I go inside, I get my phone. I come out, and I'm like, I'm not going to do shit, but you can call them if you want to. Here you go. Calls 911, right? And I'm just standing there, and Lindsay's, like, behind me. And she's like, what's going on? I'm like, stay inside the house. This guy's, like, kind of weird. So he gets the operator, and he's talking to him, and he's like, you know, talking normal enough, like, oh, yeah, this and that, there's these guys in my apartment. What are they doing? And he was like, well, there's like 5 or 6 of them, and they're destroying my couch, and I'm pretty sure they're trying to build a spaceship. And I'm like, oh, fuck. They were like, you know, describing whatever. And he's like, oh, well, there's a couple guys, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and one of them, he's got no body. And then I'm like standing there, and he goes, yeah, I thought it was pretty weird, too. And I'm like, this guy's fucking crazy. It's like, play it cool. It's like, dude, you know what I mean? It's like fucking no bodies, right? You know? So within like a minute or two, I see the light show up, and I'm like, thank fucking Christ. So he's talking to like the firemen, and like 4 of them go with him. And I grab like the one guy. I'm like, you know, so this guy's fucking crazy. He was talking about people not having bodies. And the guy's like, yeah, we heard that over the radio. And this is when Gavin shows up, and he's like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, get inside now.